And welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of 2 Minutes with Typhoon. That's 2 minutes with me, your humble host, the Fantasy Typhoon, also known as the Mentalist, also known as your favorite analyst. And look, not here to sway you one way or the other. Just here, man, to bring you true analysts. Make sure you subscribe and comment. We coming. We hitting you with player profiles, man. We hitting you as fast as I can. Now look, digging in the mailbag this week, and I'll make this one quick. Digging in the mailbag this week, and saw a question last week. Well, actually, a week before last. He made me dig. This subscriber made me dig. First of all, let me say thank you to the subscribers that I have on my channel. If you're a subscriber to my channel, Typhoon just wants to take a couple of seconds to bow down to you and just say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. I know it's not many as other channels. I got to focus on me and be thankful for what I have. And I just want to take just give you guys thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. All right, now let's get on in. Let's get back to the mailbag. Look, had a YouTube subscriber hit me up. The Fantasy Typhoon at hotmail.com if you have any player that you want me to spotlight. And he said, Typhoon, man, I need a late guy. I need a guy no one's talking about. I need a guy under the radar, going undrafted, that I can find on the waiver wire and probably pretty much most of my dynasty leagues. Dig deep, Typhoon. Give me something deep. That's what he said. Dig deep, Typhoon. Dig under the rocks. Whew, boy, put me to work. So, like I said, I've been doing my profiles and looking and just scouring and just, looking at film and just let the film talk to me. That's all I'm doing. Watching the guys and let them tell me what they want to do. Not adding more to it, not taking away from it, just letting them, they're speaking every time they run around, every time they catch, every time they drop a pass, every time they take a handoff, every time they block, every time they do make a football move, whether it's offensively or defensively or special teams. They're telling you what kind of player they are. They're speaking. And, all we're doing is just being observant. Now, the guy I have for you is Ryan Grant. My friend, I'm bringing Ryan Grant to you. Now, when you watch him play, it's nothing special. So I'm not going to sit here and try to say he's super special. Here he is down at the bottom of your screen. 27 years old. 6 feet, 204 out of Tulane. Drafted 2014, round 5. He was drafted by the Washington Redskins. And just started to find his footing last year. And like I said, we grade every player each year. And this was a player that each year we saw a uptick. Last year he played 16 games, healthy the whole season. Caught 45 passes for 573, 35.8 yards on average. 35.8 yards per game. 12.7 on average, 4 touchdowns. And we fully understand that's Washington stats. That don't carry over to the Colts. Now, the debacle that he ran into when he signed with the Ravens. And then, ran into trouble with the Ravens as far as his foot. They failed him with the physical. It's part of the game. It was underhanded, but it's part of the game. They can fail him. It's up to the doctors whether they want to pass you or not. Fail physical, you could fail in Miami and pass on all other 31 teams. You know, it's up to the staff to fail you. So they failed him, and then Colts picked him up for uh 1 year, $5 million contract. So it's kind of like a show me what you got contract. So when you're looking for this special player, for one, you got to see the talent, and two, he's got to be a fit. Three, you got to have a quarterback. Four, you got to have an offensive coordinator that understands what he has on the field. And then five, he since he's the under the radar guy, he has to have some sort of avenue to the field. You know, it's kind of like a big puzzle, and you've got to pull. He's got to hit. If you when you're digging for these late round guys, he's got to hit all boxes. You know, if he's going to have a serious chance. Here he is right here in motion, number 14, getting ready to go across the middle. Boom. See how he got into the little soft zone? Got into the soft patch. Not fast, not a burner, not tall. A little bit of my ball mentality. Pretty much everything we've seen hit his hands. He's pretty much caught it. Sometimes he double catches. You know, I'm not knocking him for that, but he's a great fit for where he's going to the HW personnel system over in Indianapolis. Hopefully we can get Andrew Luck healthy and throw him some real footballs in training camp and get his arm back zapping. Now, you know, when you look at the roster and playing time, he's going to fight with Eric Ebron, or he's going to fight with Chester Rogers. We here see him beating out Chester Rogers day one. We already see him coming in, overtaking Chester Rogers in two receiver sets. Now, the Colts will run an ace. Now, the Colts, we anticipate the Colts to run ace sets, which is two tight ends. Put Doyle over at the Y tight end with his hand in the ground, and put Ebron as the move tight end, which he will interchange from the Z and the W or the slot with Grant. And that's fine with us. In other words, we see him on the field. So it's not just something we're dreaming or playing fantasy football, you know, a fantasy in your mind that will never happen on the field. Now, like I said, there's some hurdles that needs to be jumped. Pick him up now as a late round guy. He's going real late. He's going undrafted. And in Dynasty League, he's sitting on your wire for free. You know, this is a freebie. I dug deep for you. So Ryan Grant, Fantasy Football 101's recommendation as something that could matriculate into, you know, something, you know. Let's, you know, take the wait and see approach. He's playing the X receiver here. You're watching him play the W, and you're watching him play the Z. So he's playing all wide receiver positions, which is a plus. So if we get him right here, he's just came out the X position right here. You know, he's nothing special, but sometimes the hardest job is just being where the quarterback wants you to be. Sometimes that's all it takes. Ryan Grant, late round flyer. We go.